What's up, Internet? Dice Quirk here, and today I'm just answering some questions for all of you guys about living in Japan and also the JET program. So I'm so excited to see you guys here. And yeah, before we got started with some of the questions, I just kind of wanted to go over some of the things that I thought you might be interested in. So first off, in case you didn't know, I've been in the JET program for only about like 5-ish months now. Started in October, and I've been accepted for the JET program since 2019 or 2020 because of the coronavirus. There was a large hiatus between when we got started, and so now we're over in Japan. We've been living here for a while, and also I've been doing a lot of stuff at schools. I have a middle school and also 2 elementary schools in the JET program where I teach English, and I also live here with my wife, Edith. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, we would love to answer them. And honestly, whether it's about the JET program or living in Japan or anything at all, I'd love to answer any questions you guys may have. So feel free to leave any of those in the comments. I'll be checking those as much as I can throughout the video. As for right now, I guess I should also start with saying where we are. So me and my wife live in Kami, Miyagi, which is a small Inaka town in northern Japan. If you haven't been to Miyagi, I understand it's not the typical thing that people start off with, but it definitely is a wonderful place to check out. There's lots of wonderful nature. There's lots of really cool things to see, and we're trying to make a lot of videos to showcase what makes Kamimachi amazing. Or not Kamimachi, but Miyagi in general amazing. So yeah, I noticed that we didn't have any questions posted inside of the other forum. We did have some people say that they wanted questions answered about the JET program, which is the Japanese exchange teaching program. It's the largest exchange teaching program in the world, and honestly, it's a great program. But every situation is different. But if anyone had any questions about that, I could answer that. In addition, so there was some really cool things that happened this week inside of the schools as far as getting opportunities to teach a full class multiple times and everything else. But yeah, hello. Nice to see you guys here on the stream. If any of you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them. Where are you from, if I may ask? Okay, well, hopefully we'll find out where you're from in a little bit. Yeah, basically, I just wanted to open this up in case anybody had questions or anything like that. This live stream probably won't be staying up afterward unless we have a decent number of questions or anything like that. So, if there's anything that you wanted to know, anything about Japan, I would love to answer that for you. I know we moved over here in October, so that was the very beginning of when it started to get cold here in Japan, and that's been pretty rough. Expenses have been pretty high, especially since we have 2 people here inside of our wonderful apartment. But yeah, good evening. Hey, nice to see you. How are you this weekend? I hope that you're doing very well. So, yeah, honestly, this weekend is going to be pretty crazy. Had to work this Saturday and am going to have to work additionally next week, a certain number of days. There is a holiday on Wednesday next week, so that'll be fun. And yeah, I'm in Indiana. Hey, Luke, how are you, man? It's nice to see you. I know that you mentioned you didn't have any questions for this live stream, but I'm trying to keep it open. I know there was that one fella who was very interested. So the JET program, and are you a pilot? No. Yes, the JET program is the Japanese Exchange Teaching Program, and it's all about having a cultural exchange at a grassroots level inside of Japanese communities. So whenever somebody wants to move to Japan, they don't become a pilot. They could apply for this program, and then through a number of different interviews and a lot of paperwork you have to fill out, you may be chosen to be sent to Japan. You'll get placed in either a city Or like me, I've been placed in a small Inaka town, which is like rural Japan. Um, yeah, acronyms, right? Uh, JET, Japanese Exchange Teaching Program. You know, I do wish I was a pilot. That'd be pretty darn cool. My weaknesses. That's very funny. Oh my goodness. So, Luke, what have you been up to, man? I mean, honestly, just kind of curious. It's pretty early over there, I guess. Oh, also, for anybody interested in the JET program, I know that from what I've heard, because the borders have been pretty blocked up recently, um, there have been less people accepted in the last year because there was a lot of people still waiting to get into Japan. But I would not let that deter you from applying for the JET program. Uh, because there's also a huge shortage of English teachers in Japan and a huge shortage of ALTs or assistant language teachers. So I definitely recommend that you guys keep on signing up for that. And let's see, fixed my sink, cut a bookshelf in half. Wonderful. Made a supply list for my trip to the hardware store. It sounds like you're being very industrious today. That's awesome. Topped off the oil on the truck. Dude, awesome. Yeah, our car, for anybody that didn't see our big Pokemon Pokélid adventure, is pretty old. It needs a tune up as well. So we'll have to check that out and make sure that we get it taken care of. Hello to everybody else that's joining. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments of this video, or not the comments, but the chat, and I'll make sure I answer them as soon as I possibly can, or as fast as I possibly can. Roberto, hey, man, things are going great. Yeah, I'm glad to see that you're here. What's been the biggest cultural shock you've experienced? Oh, wow. There's been so many strange little things. Um, let's see. So, one big thing. Oh, so apparently, and I'm going to make a video about this, but in Japan, they label some fruits as vegetables. So, like, in Japan, according to the government, a strawberry is a vegetable. And it's because certain plants, the only ones that they qualify as fruit are plants with a woody kind of stem. And so that means like watermelons and melons, they don't have a woody stem. And so they also are considered vegetables here in Japan, which I thought was super weird. Um, yeah, that was not really a huge culture shock moment, but that was just something that blew my mind. Let's see. Also, I wasn't able to comment when I clicked the Facebook link, but was able to when I clicked. Oh, okay. Yes. Please make sure you guys are watching through YouTube. I did have a link on Facebook, but if you want to comment and for me to see it, you're going to have to go to our YouTube channel and then go on to our live stream there. But if you have any questions about living in Japan, the JET program, anything like that, please leave them in the comments. I would love to hear them in the chat. But yeah, so culture shock, some other big culture shock moments. You guys missed a huge snowstorm out there. Amazon closed almost 3 days, and everyone was warned to stay inside and not drive around. That's pretty crazy. When the link redirected me, I wasn't logged in. Okay, yeah, so you have to make sure you're logged in to comment in the chat. So please make sure that you guys do that. And Roberto, that is crazy. The last time I remember Amazon shutting down for that long was when they accidentally shut off all of the robots in our facility and they all died. And so there was like millions of dollars lost at our facility in Chicago area. Yeah, so let's see. Bigger culture shock moments. Because me and Edith have been able to handle most things since we got here. There have been some things that have been strange that we don't completely understand, but we go through with. Getting our internet, that was shocking, but I wouldn't necessarily think it was culture shock. They just kind of took forever, and we expected it to be very quick over here in Japan. Let's see. We got paid for it all. Remember that? Oh, yeah, it was great. When we got paid for not working at Amazon for a full 4 days or something like that. That was excellent. But let's see. Let's see. Another big culture shock moment. Hey, Ed. Do you remember any big culture shock moments here in Japan or things that were just crazy? I'm asking my wife. She's over there, just a little bit
Literally
past.
everything is just complicated. Like
Mm,
doing the simplest thing, it's like you have to ask someone like what the procedure to do it is.
yeah.
But then you can't talk to them because you don't know Japanese very well.
Yeah.
Just
So
communicating.
communication has been the biggest culture shock. Just I'm sure that's for any culture that you go into. Over here, there's a lot of different um, procedures for getting things done, and so you have to go through each step. And there's not really any room to just like, oh, I'm right here right now. Can we do it? No, you have to go through every step along the way. Um, Masaru, uh, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I I think for me, I would want to do a little bit more traveling right now. That's what I want. Masaru, that's what I'd like. Do you guys watch any Japanese TV? And if so, what's your favorite so far? Oh, so Japanese TV, we have the ability to hook up our TV, but we've been trying to avoid it because here in Japan, there is like a huge tax for NHK. So if you have connection to cable and they come to your door, then you have to pay like this huge amount per month for cable. It's like $40 or something. I mean, that's not huge, but it's just for NHK as a tax. And so we've been told either to just avoid using Japanese TV unless we really, really want it, or to just say we just don't have it. So right now we're doing the legal thing and saying that we just don't have it. But we have seen some really funny stuff. There was one show that Edith and I were watching in a ramen shop where a guy was making um, an entire Japanese house by hand, and so that was really cool. Let's see what else we got here. I've always wondered how much of a loop the driving side of the street backwards would affect me. Oh, okay. Have you ever driven on the American side of the road by mistake? Yes, Luke, I have. There was one time in the first like 3 weeks that we were here. I was driving through Sendai, the biggest city in Miyagi, and it was pretty late at night. And I turned onto the road, and me and everyone else in the car, we didn't realize it, but I had gone over the barricade, like not over a barricade, but onto the other side of a barricade. And I was going in the opposite direction, and there was a stoplight in front of us. So I was just sitting there, and a car turned and came up right in front of me and was shining his lights at me, and then just didn't know what he was supposed to do because I was right where he was turning. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Oh my gosh. So I had to pull off into the other side of the street. Um, yeah, that was pretty embarrassing when it happened. But I've also seen, and I'm not going to say who it was because it was really funny, but I've also seen some of our friends accidentally drive on a sidewalk. Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. But me and the other Jet ALT that was with me, we just thought it was ridiculous. We were both like, "Oh no, what are they doing?" It was really fun. So yes, Luke, we have been tripped up by that before, but it's not as bad as you think. You get used to it pretty quick. How frustrating is drying laundry?
You have to do your laundry as
Oh,
soon as you get home.
yeah, you have to do your laundry as soon as you get home. And not only that, you have to really plan things around your laundry. So I know that I need specific clothes for work every day. And so I have to really think about, like, okay, I'm going to wear this, this, and this. And then luckily, since Edith is here, my wife, she washes most of the clothes for us. And then drying, because it's winter, we hang it up, and we bought a kerosene heater because it's very expensive to heat the house during the winter here. So we hang the stuff up over the kerosene heater and let that dry it out as quickly as we possibly can. So there's that. Yeah, drying is a huge luxury. Honestly, if we had a dryer, it'd be so nice. But the electric bill over here is also so much higher. How does teaching English work while simultaneously trying to learn Japanese myself? That's a great question because in school, they want me to speak as much English as possible. But every day in between classes, I'm constantly studying Japanese. So sometimes I'll go into class and I'll accidentally like trip into Japanese. So like the kids will ask me a question and I'm like, oh, korewa, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, nope, I got to speak in English. So that can sometimes be a problem. And also me, Edith, all of us ALTs in this particular area have noticed that our English has slowly gotten worse. Uh, it's kind of funny. We all can recognize when other people inside of our group are trying to think of a word and they're like, whoa, I haven't had to use complex English words in quite a while. So it's not coming to me right now. Let's see. Also heard that deodorant is difficult to get, at least good ones that we have here. That is true. Getting
Yeah, we still have to
strong,
send it.
yeah, getting strong deodorant is difficult. We had a lot sent to us from America, but also there's another big problem when it comes to deodorant. And have you noticed any differences in products like soap and shampoo? Yes. So in Japan, people don't necessarily strive to have a good scent. They strive to have no scent. And having like cologne or perfume or anything like that, it kind of can be taken not necessarily in a bad way, but just not the best way. That's because you're trying to strive to not be a bother to other people, and sometimes those odors can be, just like an irritant to people's nose or whatever. And that's why most people over here are trying to strive not to have any scent. And so the deodorant, all of the shampoos and stuff have a very light smell to them. Um, so that's one thing that I've definitely noticed with the shampoos and the soap. What's been the number one thing that's more expensive there than here in the States? And what about the number one thing that's cheaper? TVs are so expensive here. TVs, man. I thought that it would be so much cheaper here in Japan to buy a TV, but buying a tiny TV, it was like already $150. The one that we have is a 32 inch, which we bought for 180, I believe. So that was a little bit more expensive, and we had to search for that TV. Another big thing that is way more expensive here, and it might be because um, it might be because we are in an Inaka area, but
Yeah.
gas is so expensive, and we barely use any gas at all, and yet our gas bill is over $100 every month. Um, like they use it for the heating, like heating water, and also for our stove. But we don't cook too often, and we've been taking like less and less like long showers and baths and stuff because we wanted to save money, and it's still so high. So that's one big thing. Uh, let's see. It's unfortunate that. Yeah, it is unfortunate. I see your comment there, Robert. Um, oh man, I have noticed that I've been using like deodorant without too much of a scent, and that hasn't been too big of a problem. Plus, if you're in the JET program, a lot of your schools might expect you to wear a suit or just some kind of jacket most of the day. So uh, that kind of helps mask a little bit of any kind of scent as well. So there's that. If someone gave you a choice between staying in Japan forever or leaving and never returning, never returning, phew, that's a tough question, Luke. I love Japan. Like, I love it here. Ah, man. So between leaving and never returning or staying here forever, would other people be able to come here as well, like to visit, or how would that work? Let me know that, and then I might be able to answer your question. Um, lactose intolerant. So we got that. Yeah. Uh, other dairy-based products are difficult to get in Japan.
Oh
So
yeah, cheese is. I haven't seen sour cream. They just have yogurt.
yeah, we haven't seen sour cream here in Japan. They have yogurt, and as far as cheese goes, I mean, there definitely isn't American craft singles. That's not here in Japan, from what we've seen. But yes, it also applies to you. Okay. As far as cheeses go, I do get cheese on most of my food, so that's still here. But buying like sliced cheese is more expensive or just non-existent. So the next part, Luke. Okay, so Edith can leave and go. What about my friends and family? Can they come to Japan? I guess you said it only applies to me. I guess I would have to leave only because if I stayed only in Japan, that means I wouldn't be able to explore the rest of the world. And there's a lot of cool stuff in the world, and I am all about adventure. So I would eventually complete Japan. Like that would be like in a video game when you collect all of the 100 items or something. Uh, I would easily complete that, I believe, if I had to stay here my entire life. So I couldn't just stay in Japan. I would have to leave and explore the wider, bigger picture of the world. Um, but yeah, so there's that. I'm still trying to think of more culture shocks. For us, it's been.
There's no Italian sausage.
Oh, Edith is listening in, and she's got a couple of them. Ground beef is very hard and difficult to find. You can find it, but it's in such a small packaging that it's nothing like in America where you can buy like the really big containers for like $5.
Not enough to make tacos.
Yeah. Did you say not enough to make tacos?
I mean, like 2 tacos.
Yeah, you would buy like the biggest container you could full of, for beef, and you would have enough for like 2 tacos, as an example. Okay, so there's that. Um, have you two struggled with food portions? Yes, we did it first. And it's funny that you bring up the pizzas and the bigger sizes from America. Uh, Over here, we bought a Chicago style deep dish pizza, and it was like this big. It was like tiny, and it was like that tall. So it was a little bit thicker, but it was more like a soup. And they limited us. They said you could only buy 2 pizzas, and we were like, "What? That's so terrible." There was like 4 of us. So that was pretty awful. Also, whenever we buy pizzas, because we have such a small oven, it has to be like that big of a pizza, and then we buy like 4 of them because we eat so much. So there's that.
But then the oven like has a permit, like a safety measure where you have to let it cool down.
Yeah, so our oven also has like a safety thing. So after it finishes cooking something, then it has to cool all the way down. Then you can turn it back on to cook the next item. So that kind of stinks. Have you accidentally offended someone by doing something acceptable in America? If so, what was the worst reaction you've gotten? Let's see. I'm trying to think of people who have showed me that they were offended by what I did. Because I know that it's happened. I do remember feeling shame, like recognizing that. Oh, man. And it definitely was at school. It was at the school. I made a mistake by doing something. Oh, okay. This wasn't necessarily offensive, but I did a presentation for one of my classes talking about Christmas. Okay. And in the Christmas presentation, I was showing a bunch of different Christmas traditions I didn't think they would know about. And I talked about mistletoe and how people would hang it above their doors. And then if 2 people walk under the mistletoe, they kiss each other. And I just like made a sound effect and I went, and I also, on the slide that I was using for a slideshow, I had a picture of 2 people kissing. It was like a silhouette. And after that class, the teacher told me, "Hey, Tim, you probably should remove that one picture." And I'm like, "What picture?" "Oh, the picture with the mistletoe." "Yeah, the one with the 2 people kissing. It might be just a little bit too stimulating for the students." I was like, "What? That's crazy." So I had to remove that picture, and for the rest of the day, it was all right. That was just kind of a funny thing that happened. Um,
The Wild Wild West game.
Oh yeah, and I made a game for the class where the kids would all stand up. They would have a pen in one hand, a pencil in the other hand, and on the board a random either vegetable or fruit would pop up. And then the pen meant fruit, and they would have to like draw the fruit or the pen. And it was called Wild West. And it was basically supposed to be like 2 cowboys shooting. Okay. And when I first was talking about that game, I was going to say, like, just have your hands like guns. And I was told that that might be a little bit too over the top, just because guns in Japan, it's not a big thing here. So we ended up with a pen and a pencil. And the kids love the game, by the way. Let's see. Most ridiculous thing. Oh, okay. Also, what is the most ridiculous thing you've seen one of your favorite anime characters selling? Oh, yeah. Okay. I think toothpaste and toothbrushes. I really do like the pictures I put on Instagram where it was Attack on Titan, and it was a Titan with like super bright teeth, and the shoot, what are the scouts? They were just like flying through the air with giant toothbrushes and toothpaste containers, and so that was really cool. Um, let's see. Highly recommend an air fryer. It will come in handy a lot. We use it for fish and a bunch of dishes. Ooh, that might be a good idea. Although I think we have a frying portion on our oven. We're still trying to figure out how to use it. Because some people have told us not to put water in it, and some people have told us to put water in it. So we're trying to figure that out before we do anything crazy. But thank you so much, Robert. Definitely we'll look into that because we want to try cooking fish more too, and that seems like a really good way to take care of the fish. But yeah, so I think we haven't really had too many questions about like Jet or anything like that. If you guys have any more questions, I can answer those. If you don't, that's okay. This has just kind of been like a little experiment, seeing what people might be interested in. And yeah, I'll definitely make sure that I do more of these in the future. Do you guys have any recommendations for making this better in the future? Whether it be priorly made content. I'm thinking maybe in the future we'll have a section where I just talk about some planned content, and then at the end I'll have Q&A for anything. What does the American side of Jet look like? Do you mean like for people coming from Japan to America? I'll wait until if you can clarify that question a little bit more, then I'll definitely answer it. You need a fun hat. Yes, I do need a fun hat. What kind of hat would look nice? I need something that really matches kind of the theme of the channel. Maybe a rice hat if I can get one of those in the summer. Yes. Okay. So there aren't actually any Japanese teachers that go to America for the Japanese exchange teaching program. It's only people from all of the different countries in the world. They come to Japan, and then Jet. Usually, they hope that the people that teach in the Jet program, when they finish and they go back to their own countries or whether they stay in Japan, they continue to spread awareness of the culture here. So when I go back to America, then they hope that in my classes or in whatever occupation I go into, I'll incorporate some of this stuff about Japan into it and the things that I've learned here so that people can get a deeper understanding of what it looks like over here. The biggest socially acceptable hat. I will try my best to find a nice hat. That sounds like fun. And also, shoot. Yeah, so I was thinking about doing some of that where I have like the planned content, Q&A after, and also I plan on putting out another video this weekend still. But I'd also like Edith on the stream next time. I have questions for her if she's available. I'll see if she can come. I'll see if she can. She usually has some of her own stuff that she's doing. But if she's up for it, she'll be here. I don't know if we'll do another one of these next week. We'll probably do this maybe once a month and just try to build it up. So thank you guys so much for coming. If you guys have anything else, please let me know. Let me know in the comments of this video or anywhere else. Yeah, it was nice having you guys here. And thank you guys so much. Nah, Edith is mean. What a way to end the stream. This is perfect. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. And Dice Quirk out. If I could figure out how to. There we go.